Hello, everybody. My name is Laura. You're watching the Beanbird 2 channel where I discuss testimonies and the goodness of God. Today, I have an exciting testimony from a friend that I met a long time ago, and that testimony has stuck with me all these years, and I'd like to share it. So, this was a family that used to hike the Upper Peninsula in Michigan, and they had hiked it for many, many, many years. They're very familiar with the terrain. I feel like they hiked it maybe like 20 years. They're very familiar with the area. And they would do the backpacking where they would hike and then they would set up camp and then they would pack up and hike some more. And they would do it for days and then turn around and go back. And they had a family with children, and that was what they did over summer. Well, one day while they were doing their hike in the Upper Peninsula, they were setting up camp as it was starting to turn to dusk. And while they were setting up their campsite, they saw two guys come off of the trail in the woods. And the guy approached them. It was like a younger guy and a little older guy. And the one guy came up to them and said, "Hey, I know that these kind of places, people like to have, their alone time and distance." He said, "But I've been hiking and I got a little turned around and lost. And I was hoping, if it would be okay if I could set up camp next to you guys. It would really comfort me." And they were like, "Yeah, sure, absolutely. Set up next to us. We're gathering some wood for a fire, and get your site set up, and then we can chat by the fire later tonight." And so that was the arrangement. So my friend and his wife, they went and gathered their firewood, set up their tent, and were getting situated. And then that night, when they came together at the campfire, they were talking, and my friend said to the guy, he said, "So where's the guy that was with you when you walked in? He's not around. I haven't seen him since you guys walked up." And he said, "No, I'm hiking alone." And he's like, "No, there was a guy with you. And he was wearing a plaid shirt, and he had like the hiking boots and some jeans." And the guy was like, "No, I'm all alone." And then he looked at his wife and he said, "Didn't you see the guy that was with him when he walked up?" And she's like, "Yeah, there was a man with you." And he's like, "No." He's like, "Actually, what happened," he goes, I'm a missionary from China, and I came out here in the woods to have some fellowship with the Lord. And while I was hiking, I got lost. And I prayed to God to help me find my way. I was getting kind of scared. It was turning into dusk. And he said, and then, I stumbled upon your campsite. And that's when I asked you if I could camp next to you." And they looked at each other and they were like, "No, there was a man with you." And um, they all knew that at that moment that an angel had guided him to my friend and his family that were set up camp. And the guy that was hiking, the missionary, he never saw the man that was with him. He never was even aware of it until my friend and his wife asked him, "Where's the man that was with you?" And that's just so amazing. So angels, they're there to help. They work for the Lord, and we don't worship them, and we don't want to focus on it too much. But it is a beautiful reminder that God is with us all the time, and that when we pray, He answers our prayers. And this poor missionary was lost in the woods, and it was turning late, and this angel guided him, unbeknownst to his own awareness, to my friend and his family, where he was able to redirect, where he was on the map and be on the trail and find his way back home safely. And I just think that we need to remember that we're not alone. God is with us, and He has armies of angels that are here to help as the Lord directs them. And that we can just feel comforted that God is with us. And so that's what I wanted to share. And Also, I just want to be very careful that we're not worshiping angels, because I see a lot of people kind of go down that track where they start having angel statues and praying to angels. And it's important that we don't do that. We want to keep our focus on worshiping God, worshiping the Lord, and focus on God. And but to remember that we do also have heavenly help, and what a beautiful thing that is. So I hope that story sticks with you like it did me. Anytime I'm afraid or feeling alone, I kind of remember that, God answers prayers. He hears us, He cares for us. He's the good shepherd, and the good shepherd doesn't leave his flock. He goes after the one. And you have the 99 sheep. If the one is lost, the Lord goes out for the one. So remember that. God cares for you. He loves you more than you can possibly imagine. Have a wonderful day.